Hello, YouTube modeling community. Get you straight, guys. This is Rusty Rotor with what's on my bench, but more just shop update, and we're going to do an open box review of what came in from Hobby Nut Models. Thank you to Mark for making this happen. One thing I did purchase, and we're going to just kind of quickly go over that too. I'm not going to open box review it. I'll tell you what the plans are for it, and I'll show you kind of direction I'm going in with it. I've wanted to do it, and I've seen the kit at like model shows and stuff like that. And then I'm like, I'll just wait because this is not wanting to cooperate today. Let's see how that does. All right, trying something new here, guys, with angles and everything else. But anyways, the kit, I kind of passed on it, and Mark had it in his inventory. I was like, you know what? I passed on it probably 7 or 8 times. Now that I got the one part that I wanted to do for it, and this is because when I was probably about 15, 16, a good friend of mine had one down in Georgia. The difference is his was orange. We're still losing. We'll set it that way. That way to balance out. I know I'm a little crooked, guys. His was orange, and the box art. This is yellow, but we're gonna paint it like his. I wrote in it, I don't know, half a dozen times. Gotten a lot of trouble in it, probably half a dozen times. But it's kind of going to be like a tribute built to his. Unfortunately, he passed away at a very young age due to an accident in this vehicle. I mean, we're talking 40 years ago, whatever. Yeah, 40 plus years ago. I've lost contact with his family. I'm sure his parents they were actually a little bit older than mine. He was the youngest out of 4 children. So we're going to kind of like a tribute build, and this is just going to be treasured up on my shelf. This will not go to shows, but it's something that's going to be hopefully a fairly easy build. We're not starting on it anytime soon because, as I said, all the other stuff we got to get done. So enough about that one. We'll look at it here in a minute. The shop, it's really come along. It's not that I'm feeling a whole lot better. It's just that the couple days that I did feel really good, I was able to get quite a few things done. Because if you remember, I told you those things just don't take a long time to do. It's just got to be able to get up and do it, and all that. The rest of it's been able to just sit here, wheel myself around and do what I need to do. And we did get some stuff moved around. I've not gotten moved the cabinet yet. I need to sometime today to get that done because I need this open over here so I can get this framed in and tabletop on that. I'm hopefully going Saturday tomorrow and get the rest of the materials and the drywall that I'll need for the bases for the dioramas. So we'll pretty much be set until it comes time to actually start landscaping. Then I'm going to have to order my materials, but I do have a little job to do first, which will be the money to buy that and a little bit more. I'm pretty much going to exhaust what I have in my fund right now for purchasing materials. I did order 2 more large cut mats for the main build table. I like rotating down when I start a new project. A lot of times I was doing it for quite a while. I started a new project and I got a new mat. It was just kind of like I don't know, a good luck type thing, because each time I did it, it seemed to get better results on the build. I don't know what superstition, whatever, but I stopped doing that. You get years and years out of these mats just because you get stuff on them. If you take the time, you can go back over and clean them off pretty good with mineral spirits or what have you, and get all your excess paint off of it, and your glue if you take your time and scrape it off with your knife. You can at least get the mat looking somewhat decent, and then you've always got the opportunity to flip it over to the other side. But we rotated the big back down here to the new build area next to the 3D printing station. We've kind of got those shelves and everything underneath here organized and adjusted to a degree. The ledge behind it is kind of set up how I want it. I'm happy with that right now. We got our printer scooted down to the main bench because when I'm doing my laptop work, it'll probably be right there. You know, I got just a hair more light down there, and I'm getting old. I'm half blind, but I'm digging through stuff, and I'm realizing, yeah, I've got enough paintbrush sets to set up for each station. Now, mind you, this station over here is going to share. This one has its own stuff, and the one behind me is going to share. So I actually got extra. Plus, there's a set of real expensive paintbrushes to go on the diorama table, which I'm not. I think I used one brush out of it, and it was in Vallejo paint, so it was nothing. You know, I cleaned it really good and put it back in there. But so we got a set of paintbrushes for diorama table, then each workstation. And mind you, a lot of the stuff I use is little teeny disposable brushes, which will be at each workstation also. Drill bits, those little micro drill bits, they'll be at each workstation. My pin vices, I actually need to get one more pin vise, which I'll probably order this weekend or something like that. I have enough drill bits. I gotta take time to go through them and separate them in sizes, because I ordered a real huge set, and you got like 40 or 50 of each little drill bit. So I need to split those up into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 sets. So actually I need 2 more pin vices. I'll just probably buy 2 cheap pin vices. That way each table, each workstation has a pin vise also. And a set of the 2 sets of the micro drill bits, which I usually use my fingers for those. Every once in a while, if it's in a hard to reach area, I'll put it in a pin vise. I have a skinny pin vise that it'll hold them, and I can get in there to a hard to reach area. Usually that's when you break one because you're binding it, but it is what it is. So I guess without further ado, let me take you out of here without turning the camera off. There we go. And we're going to turn you can kind of look down the table. As like I said, you know, I've got underlighting here also that lights up the table. I have my adjustable halo magnifier or LED light also. So that area gets lit up really well, especially with the overhead lighting. And you can see where we put the printer. All 3 of these containers are for 3D printed parts only. I have them right there because primarily I do most of my building right here. So if I need to grab a part or a custom item or something like that, I can grab it. Or while I'm 3D printing, I can just reach up and grab the drawer and put the new parts in. Just kind of a convenience thing. I do have all these up here that I need to get. These brown ones here are like the first ones I ever had. And then these are full of parts. Not all the way, not all of them. But we have boxes and boxes of parts behind me. And that's what this little area over here is going to be dedicated to, is getting the sprues out, cutting the parts off, getting them up in these containers and get them labeled accordingly to what they are. And this is primarily what I call my junkyard. So that will probably stay there. This will go to the diorama table, just for it's centrally located. It holds all my, you know, evergreen rods, tubing, aluminum tubing, all that is in there, and it's lazy Susan, it turns, so it's easy to get to. So it'll go on the diorama table with that paint tray there. I'll be primarily using that stuff on dioramas, but I still use it for cars and trucks for the interiors and suspensions, whatnot. So let me crack open this soda here and get a drink. Ugly mug. But I turn it so you can see now the 3D printer station's here. We decided to keep the fire extinguisher right there. I was going to put it centrally located, but it's starting to load up what will be the diorama table with a lot of stuff, and that will make it hard to work on. And balling on a budget, we're trying to keep from buying more than we have to right now. But you can see we got the drawer down here. We got all the 3D printed stuff in there, paperwork, tools, accessories, whatchamacallit, a little flash drives, you know, all my funnels, strainers, you know, Allen wrenches, all that kind of stuff's in one drawer. Then I have a drawer with all new resin, and then a drawer with all my alcohol and alcohol bottles down here at the bottom. So, you know, it's stored everything really nice. I'll kind of open one, you can see, like there's all the alcohol and alcohol bottles. This is the stuff I need to transfer from these bottles into these bottles and put them in the cure and harden the resin that's in them, and then I'll siphon, well not siphon, but pour them out of there through a strainer back into one of these bottles, and then it'll go into that vat in there, and I got to clean that as well. So and then this is like where I keep all my sheet styrene. This stuff, guys, you need to keep and save. These are good to make windows out of for trans kits or resin body kits. In diorama world, make your glasses or your panes of glass for your doors, windows, etc. All my teeny tiny little parts, I keep a little cup type thing in here. I always save all my little scrap pieces, because you never know, instead of cutting off a full sheet, you got your scrap here. And there's scrap laying all down in here too. But this has my metal, like copper, brass sheets, aluminum sheets down in here also. This drawer is got all my electronics. You can see the light up kit for the Ghostbusters Ecto 1. Another tripod, camera gear, LED light strips. And then the bottom is full of sandpaper. So I always take out of there and put in my little thing. But I'm going to make up a little thing for each workstation, so I have sandpaper at each station. And here is my wet palettes, my thing for decals, sponges, all that for wet thing, my wax paper, all that's for, you know, wet palettes. So I keep all that in there. This is all my gloves for shows, working with a 3D printer, you know, boxes and boxes of gloves, little finger bits, like if I'm working on a finished model, I can just put these over my fingers to keep from putting fingerprints on stuff. I don't know why that's in there. That needs to go in here for now. And then I got a box of gloves out that I grabbed real quick to work with the 3D printer, which these need to go. And in there, as you can see, all my resin, the lube for the FET, funnel, strainers, toothbrush for scrubbing parts, and there's the new vat. I'll put those in there. That, and then all my other stuff I was talking about. This I've talked about before. This is full of all my rotary tools, all the bits, polishers, just different size cutting wheels, brass wheels. I do want to get this into a different type setup so I can get rid of this big tackle box. There's stones, I don't know what they're for, and then there's drill bits that came with them, which these need to be transferred up to the main drill box. Chucks or seats, whatever you want to call them, for different size shafts on the tools. We never did talk about this, but we'll talk about it real quick. These are kind of what I start out with. These are the smallest beads you can get at whether it's Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And in the picture they look big, but they're super tiny and they're hard to see. And then I got these, which these I usually paint silver or aluminum to make tee off of them, to make like for brake fittings, fuel lines, whatever. But these, you know, all being red and blue and then chrome, I use for my anodized fittings. And I've kept them. I didn't just throw them away because I could buy the actual type, because I still use these from time to time. And they do come in handy, and it's hard to tell the difference unless you get up on it with a microscope or zoom in like this. But they work great. They're cheap. I think it's like $3 or $4 for a tube, and I bought like a it was a 6-pack, so you got 2 of the silver, 2 of the blue, 2 of the red, and I forget, I paid like $14 or $15 for all that. I'm trying to find my other, oh, here it is. My other stand. Let me get you set up here. Around for a second, we'll talk, and then we're going to get into it. We're already 15 minutes into this, but once we kind of gather this, we'll look at the first workstation. There's a few things that need to be moved out and rotate out because they don't go over here, but you'll get an idea of this workstation and what I have already set up to use. And oh, by the way, if you're wondering, it's all behind there. Those are all empty display cases, brand new display cases. Plus there's one, oh, it's right there. It's got to be added to it. I buy them in bulk. Cheaper. It's like $130 for a dozen. Right now they're like $20 a piece, almost $20 a piece. Some of them are a little cheaper, but you're getting what you pay for. These are all stackable. They're sealed. Once the lid's on, it's sealed. No dust gets in or anything like that. So I really like them. And if anybody is curious, let me know down in the comments. I'll get you the website. They actually have an app you can download on your phone, so you can go right to it. The name of the company is Pioneer Plastics. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them. You can get them on Amazon too, but if you go directly through them, you can get, it's free shipping, and you get like a dozen of them for base price of like $130 after tax, which is not bad. You do the math, almost $20 on Amazon for one. $20 times 10, that's 200, and then it's like $240, where normally they should be about $9 or $10 a piece, but I've seen it go as high as almost $20 a piece. This little one behind me here, I paid like $17 for that one on Amazon. Now those are decent little display cases, but they're cheapies, and they work in a pinch. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another one somewhere. Where's the other one at? I don't know. I opened it and put the white coast in there. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of them right now, and I've bought them in the past for customers when I did a commission build, because it was the most widely available. And then Jay at J-Scale Garage turned me on to Pioneer Plastics, and I started researching, and it's like, yeah, buy it in bulk. It's a lot cheaper, and then you got enough for 12 builds down the road. And it, in a year I might get that. So $130 a year versus even the cheapest, like $200 a year, is still saving like $70, 50 to $70 I'm saving. So it's worth it. Okay, so like I said, big thank you to Mark at Hobby Nut Models. Usually, I get a package once a month. You see Mark or Matthew at Model Car Videos. He does it. It's the time that he orders stuff, and Mark throws in a couple goodies. He did that for me as well, and it's all pertaining to this one. I let the cat out of the bag Wednesday when I told you, it's an airplane. We don't know what kind. But first we're going to, let me get it out of the way so we don't give it away right this second. This video will be a little longer than anticipated for a Friday video, but we're covering kind of quite a bit of stuff here, guys. Let me get this down too, because it's right here in front of my face. All right. So we'll turn you around. There we go. As you can see, it's the International Scout by AMT. Now my buddy's, he kept the doors off of it, and he had like a tubular door on it. It was lifted, and it was a work in progress. He's a high school kid and had X amount of dollars, his parents gave him, and he dumped most of it into his car. if I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong, but I think it had a 340 in it. It wasn't the original engine. I don't know if it says what engine's in this. No, it says 345, so maybe it was the original engine. But his had headers, had an aftermarket intake, carburetor. The whole engine was completely rebuilt and hopped up a little bit. As far as interior, it was pretty rough interior. It was his father's car, who bought it brand new. So it's seen the wear and tear through him growing up to be old enough to start driving, and then his father gave him this for his first car. So, like I said, I passed on it umpteen times, and I finally pulled the trigger and got it. So I'm really glad. If you remember back, Ryan Jones sent us these tires and wheels. These are the tires and wheels that are going on this. We're not going to open it yet, but you know, when we start to build, it'll be a build series too, and you'll get to see the progress on it and what I do with it. It wasn't lifted super high, even with the big tires on it. It just barely cleared the tires. It was more like what we called a ridge runner. There we go. A ridge runner was basically a trail runner. You get down in the creeks with it. You get in the mud with it. It wasn't for rock crawling or anything like that, or real steep hills. It did okay. It climbed. The thing had a low gear in it, like you wouldn't believe. He put it up against a tree and stand it straight up. That's how low, low was. And it had a winch on the front of it. I don't know if I'll get that close to replicating it. I will try. There's companies out there that make aftermarket winches and stuff like that. There's files, so I'll probably find a file down the road and get one, because I got other 4x4 trucks I want to build, and having that winch will, be beneficial, worth buying the file. Put those up there for now. But yeah, so we're going to lift it. We're going to paint it to match his, and put the what we can. Sorry guys, my allergies are driving me nuts today. I know it because in the middle of the night last night I started hacking and coughing, and hopefully I'm not getting sick. But we'll put that up out of the way for now. That one will be at this build station we're at right now, when I do it. And same way with the one for Jay, it'll be getting built right here. We'll primarily keep this workstation for those special builds or commission builds or what have you. Our monthly build from Mark. Like I said, he sends them. I try to build them each month. It's just a compliment for him sending me something, at no cost to me. So it, just to pay it back. So we talked, and I told him, I had been looking at something for months and months and months, and it just kept drawing me to it, kept drawing me to it. And I finally said, hey, you know what, Mark? I said, I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's completely out of my genre, but I would really like to build that. Do you still have it in stock? And he said, yeah. He said, I would be, great for you to build that. He said, because I like when I see people building planes, because he's a fan of planes himself. So he sent it to me, and he sent me some stuff to go along with it, and we'll go over that here in a second. First, we'll go over it, take a look at it, and then we'll open it and see what's inside, because I've not opened it yet. So let me turn you around, and you get to take a look at it. And believe it or not, this has nothing to do with what's going on over in Ukraine and Russia. It has no, I can't say it has no premises behind this. I'm more intrigued with the pilot than the plane, but they kind of coincide with each other. So it is the Ghost of Kiev. get that out of the way so you can see. It's ICM. It is 1/72nd scale. So I don't again know the scales on these, how big it is. The box isn't huge, but it's a decent sized box, so it should be, almost the size of the box, I guess, after it's assembled and all that. This one came with a paint kit. They included with it, so it's got all the colors needed for the plane, other than probably some like in the cockpit and stuff like that, which I got plenty of paints for that. And we'll build it accordingly to the box recommendations, because I know no other. I have been watching a lot of videos on him. Apparently he was shot down and killed, which is a shame. I think he, in his career, during the war over there, has shot down over 40 Russian planes. War's not pretty, guys, no matter what country you're in. It's a job. They got to do their job, and it's, to protect the country, and I get that aspect of it, but in the same fact, I don't like war either. Too many lives lost, innocent and non-innocent. But yeah, it was cool that it came with the paint, so I was like, well, you know what, that was just another reason to draw me to it. So familiar with what's going on over there. The kit itself, the MiG-29 jet, has always fascinated me. I'm a very highly admired person when it comes to airplanes. I have a cousin that was in the Air Force that flew the F-16, and went through every bit of it, career, and then got out, and he's flown for Delta ever since. And it's been big jets, but so I've always been around it and heard talk about the jets and planes that were coming out, and what fascinated him as a fighter pilot. And so not super familiar with this plane, but yet acquainted. And then you hear on news and in movies and everything else. So super cool looking plane. It's super cool that it came with the paints to paint it accordingly. So now that you guys have seen it, we'll open it here in a minute. Mark sent some acrylic thinner from AK. So I'm assuming these are acrylic paints. AK Wolverine PVA glue. Don't know if this is to glue this kit together or what. We probably won't use it for that. And then I finally got some more of the Instaset. I don't like using this a lot, but when you use the Bob Smith products and you're in a pinch and it takes a few minutes for the glue to set up, this really speeds up the process. It will mess with paints, some paints, and tarnish the area a little bit. So you got to be really mindful when you're using it. But it's great to get it, because I have needed it a few times and not had it and had to sit there and hold and hold and hold. So yeah. So he sent those. That's a little bonus thing there. So thank you again, Mark. Got to get us some. Oh, let's take a look at this first, so you guys can see. This is the one workstation. This is our old mat, but we got most of our tools. We got our paint brushes. We got a pair of scissors, some markers, which this has got to be gone through and weeded out. We got our necessary glues, like the Mark Fit back there. That'll come out of here. The black panel line wash is just here right now. I do need to get a couple more bottles of that, so I can maybe have one at each station. That's the gray panel line wash, which we'll be using on this plane. And I have my basic paints here, some of them. These will get rotated out eventually. We have our bits. That's my old set. And then there's two new sets right there. Some clamps. And then we've got, our Bob Smith glues are all in here. Those got to be rotated out, because some of them go over here, some go here. And I can kind of reach and grab what I need as I go. But this area is primarily set up. Red toolbox. That has a lot of like screwdrivers, my pliers, my little hammer, a little miniature hacksaw. All that stays in there. I keep it close to the downdraft table. primarily that's where I do all my major cutting, so it gets sucked into there and not all over my build area. Oh man, guess I'm getting a sinus cold, because that's what it feels like. Hold on a second, guys. All right, get a drink, and we're gonna open this up. And if you research around on Amazon, like I bought 2 of the 18 by 24 mats for that big part of the desk down here. As a bonus, you get a hobby knife set. It comes with a bunch of blades and a knife. So it'll be nice that I don't need them there. I've got knives already down there for that build area, but I'll have extras that I can disperse throughout the way here. ICM kits are nice is that they're not shrink wrapped. They're taped. I like that, but your boxes are more apt to get, you know, damaged and destroyed, where the shrink wrap does help protect that a little bit. All right, first time looking at that, so we're gonna turn you around here. See if you can, let me see what we can see here. Okay, so we're going, yeah, and on the side here, there's quite a bit of information about the pilot and the plane. On YouTube, there's a ton of information. This is okay. It's different. There we go. It's not very big at all, guys. So it's not going to take up a lot of space, which is good. It's all in one baggie, all the parts. I would like to review this as far as what everything is, but I'm in uncharted waters here. I can definitely know that these are wing pieces. Some panels for the fuselage. The main bottom, the main top. There's the fuselage. There's our canopies. And some other little lenses for something. Our jet flanges here. I don't know what they're called, so bear with me. All you plane guys, if you watch my channel, you can drop down in the comments down there what things I'm rattling off here that I'm totally wrong about. A lot smaller than I thought. There's the seat. And according to the thing, there was a pilot that goes in here. It may be covered up. It may not be a pilot. I thought there was. I'm not seeing one. Oh, let's open this up and see what we got here, and we'll take a look at the instructions. My garbage has been removed. I'm so used to being right down there. Alright. Let's do this in a way where we can kind of let it fall in the box here. Get rid of that. Make sure there's nothing there. Remember, guys, always make sure your plastic is empty. You're not throwing away anything that you might need. And there is something down in there. So we need to check it real quick. Bear with me. Because this is so small, this may very well be a part. But there it is. I don't think it is. I think it's a piece of flash. There we go. We put it down in the box just in case. Alright, so like I said before, here's our canopy. We're not going to get that out. We don't want to lose anything or scratch anything. But we've got our canopies. And like I said before, there's our main part of where the jet exhaust comes out. I'm sure that's part of it there too. But there's the top of our plane. very, very nice detail. I mean, it's very small. It's hard to see with the naked eye, but some of it really stands out, like all this in here. Now, I know guys that build these things in full detail, and that's kudos to them, but we're not going to go that far. We're just going to try to build a really nice, clean model and represent it the best we can. I think these are fuel tanks. These are missiles, more missiles, little wings. All this stuff's probably for the missiles and stuff. Things that hold fuel tanks. I mean, some of these could be bombs. Looks like these are bombs. Maybe this is the fuel tank here. I don't know. We'll know once. We'll have to use the instructions. I can't build these without them. But then we get to cockpit. There's the controls. More controls here, I guess. Cockpit right here. Very small. The seat, like I said. So we'll be using teeny tiny brushes to pick out the detail, providing what's in the decals. So yeah, there's not a lot of parts. I kind of thought there'd be more than what there is, but there's not. So let's break out the instructions. I know there comes all the decals. So here we'll look at the decals first. That's nice. Gives you all the different patterns. And here's all the badging numbers. There's cockpit decals. So that's kudos to that. And all these, I can't even read those, even getting up on the phone. So we'll definitely be using all those and getting them where they need to go. Hopefully the instructions are detailed in that aspect. Oh, they are. So yeah, it's really nice. It shows you colors to paint, where the decals go, all the badging. And that's only two pages of instructions. But we'll kind of gander at them here real quick. Pretty nonchalant. Detail your landing gear, cockpit, your seat to the cockpit, how it goes in, or on your landing gear over here. Your fuselage going together down here. And the rest is just wing assembly and the jet exhaust. Like I said, they don't say what those are. Maybe they do back here under the parts. I don't know. We'll have to research now that we got it open. But yeah, it's pretty basic. We want it to look just like this. And, you know, just be a nice display piece in here. Mainly as tribute to the pilot. I think the pilot was from Western Europe, if I'm not mistaken. I can respect what those guys do just as much as guys that fight on the ground. Because if it wasn't for air support, ground battle would be a lot harder and a lot bigger body count. But yeah, so that's our project for this month, or the rest of this month. I don't think it'll take all month. I can probably get it cleaned up and assembled and ready for paint in probably a day or two. The decals, like I said, I suck at them. Turn you around here, get you level again. Suck at decals, so we want to make sure we take our time, get placement right. And then it does come with the satin, I think it's satin. Where's the glasses at? Let's look at this. So the colors it comes with are off-white, sky gray, dark sea gray, dark gray, and German gray. And then a satin varnish. So the whole thing gets done in a satin varnish when you're done. They're 12 milliliter bottles. They're not real big. It's probably just enough to do the plane with. Again, I don't know how much of these we will use. quite a few of them, I'm sure, because like I said, we're going to follow the instructions and we're going to paint it accordingly. But it's going to be a challenge because, like I said, I've not built a plane since, like I said, I was a kid. And most of the time after I got done building them, I put little eyelet screws down the top of them, and I put them on a guide wire in the backyard. I put in a bottle rocket, and then on that, I had a fuse tied up to the front of the plane. I did this when I built them, and then I had firecrackers up in front, so it would whoosh, down that fishing line, and then it'd get however until the bottle rocket fizzled out, and it lit the fuse, and then it'd blow them apart. It was a blast as a kid, but looking back now, some of them I did a really good job on. I wish I still had them, but it is what it is, you know. But we're going to start over. Like I said, this year's a new year for us. We're going to be doing some planes. I have a couple little planes up here. We have a balsa wood kit that was sent to us. If you remember way back in the beginning, we're going to start work on that. We got one to finish up. There's new methods to coating them now, so I got to look into that when I get them all structurally done. Those will just pretty much hang from the shop ceiling. I won't ever fly them. Both of them are rubber band powered and can be converted to a Cox, what is it, O2 engine or whatever they are. But we won't be doing any of that, or even rubber. We only make them rubber band powered. Last one I built that was rubber band powered. I got it all done, wound it up for its maiden flight. I wound it too much. It snapped the block in the back where the rubber band connects, and it slammed it all the way forward and knocked out all the ribbing of the plane. The plane kind of just went, and that was the end of it. I was like, well, and it took me almost a year to build it. It was a big plane. So I learned my lesson there. You know, like I said, I don't know enough about them, what to do, what not to do. The only research I'm putting into this is some history background on the pilot, the plane itself, some videos, some pictures, just to kind of get documentation on, you know, as I'm building it, kind of to make it as correct as I can. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I hope you guys enjoy it through the process. I'll let you look at the center table here real quick. So this is not the diorama table. This is just this will be the table I cut to fit in over here, and then some shelving pieces and everything, what's left of it. But this is all the stuff that was crammed on that one desk. And I'm just now, like, I've got paintbrushes separated. I'm trying to get glues separated, you know, sanding sticks, tweezers, you know, stuff I know has got to be centrally located, stuff that can go to each workstation. So I got to kind of go through all that and then decide what I want. You can kind of see I got that one tray there with primarily everything that'll stay there. A couple things have to come back out of there that'll go centrally located because I don't want to buy enough for each workstation. We had our big tripod out to start with, just to try some different things. My granddaughter is going to come home today, and she's going to help me because there's a zillion boxes over there where you see those few right there. Help me get them because they all go up underneath here. That's all for packing, shipping. Those two boxes have got packing material. There's my excess printer paper. Like I said, you can see up there, there's the printer. When I work on my laptop, it'll primarily be right there. We do have room to put a drawer in right here, which we are going to do. Here, we're not going to do a drawer. I didn't plan ahead like usual. The drawers are deeper and it'll hit and they won't close all the way, so it's not worth tearing the desk back apart and making it fit. So we're going to put a piece of wood from here over to that lower 2x4 you see right there, and it'll be a face board like this to mount that stand you see back there, because that stand holds my hair dryer, my heat gun, has all my shrink wrap, my soldering iron, which that will come out of there and be centrally located. But that will be centrally located too, where I can easily grab it no matter workstation I'm working at, because I do use both a lot, especially when it comes to decals or if I got warp parts. It also holds, I have an engraver, that will go central. Same with the soldering iron. but that'll primarily holds my heat gun and my hair dryer. And I have a couple other tools that are still stored that will go into that as well. There's like a little shelf down below it, and then it holds the thing. So I need something to hold that stuff and be in an area. I don't want to lose that. I kind of like having that for right now, anyways. Down here, that black 2x4 is sitting flat on the floor. That will hold. Where'd it go? Oh, that tin right there, aluminum and copper looking thing. That is a bin, as I call it. It's easy when I'm working there to reach out and throw parts and trash away in that. And then I dump that into a box and I take it out to the trash about every other week. Each little workstation kind of has one. I do have a main trash can, but it just works well doing it that way. We've not started any new projects yet. The airplane project, the Ghost of Kiev, we will be starting that this week in between working on the shop. We will shut down pretty much all building. That's the reason why we've not started on Jay's. I did get some more parts in. Jay sent through the mail to me, primarily all the little fittings, hose fittings for all the fuel lines and brake lines and stuff like that. So thank you, Jay. So those are the two projects we got to start that'll be new. We do have unfinished projects, which the main bench, the Volkswagen bus will come down first so we can get it finally assembled. That's what it's ready for, is just final assembly. And I've got a lot of it done. It just needs to be finished up. That way it can go in the display case. Then we'll have the Ring Brothers Charger and the 32 back out on the tables, and that's where they'll stay until they're done. We will be working on the Ghost of Kiev, and when this is done, we will be starting Jay's commission build, which will stay here until it's done. And then over here will be viewer's choice and wife's choice. And when those are done, then we'll rotate out with what is still undone, which is the 60C10/66C10, the gray Stang, and let's see what else. That's the only two over there. Then when those are done, we'll rotate out two more, because we do have other projects, like I mentioned before, that we need to get out and kind of get them finished up. Some need a lot, some are real close. And when we get something out that I've not shown yet, we'll kind of go over that a little bit more in depth before we get rolling on it. And in between all that, it'll be moving stuff, getting stuff organized. This pegboard's got to all be redone. I've got to get wires moved, stuff plugged back in. The photo booth will be on top of the red toolbox over there in the corner. I kind of moved it around to see where I got the right height to kind of get in there good, and it actually works really well. So we're going to just leave it sit there. We're still going to move the clock and the picture back there. And we still got to get this cabinet moved over here. Hopefully today I can, after we get off here, I can get that done. And then next week we'll start on the plane. I don't know how far we'll get before I shut it all down to start going through all the shelves and getting everything down and reorganized and stacked up as we get stuff done. The main thing is going to be getting this little section over here built first, so I can get it painted, and then the diorama table built, and then I can start getting all the components on it. And then when I get all that done, then I can get it painted, and then we can start getting it set up, and then we can get started on our first diorama. I don't want to start on that until I get it done in the way I want it to be, if you know what I mean. It's kind of one of those things that I like when I sit down. I like having everything I need to get started on it. It's one thing, it's going to be months worth of a project. You have time to order stuff, but I've got everything I need to start, and that's the primary thing, is get started on them. We've talked about it. I've had great people send me stuff to go to these things, and we're kind of at the point where all of them, we have primarily what we need, but there'll still be some stuff needed to finish, and I'm not worried about that now. It's the main thing is just having the workspace available and getting started. So I got some electrical to do, get the diorama table built, get this section back here built, get all this organized behind me, because this is a pile cluster mess, the same as what's on here. get these 2 little areas right now, stuff pulled off of them that I don't want to keep there, that are going to go central located, and then stuff I'm keeping here, of course, will stay here. Some stuff will stay here for now, and as I need it, I'll come over here and get it for another area. But I'm happy, really happy now with this work area over here. It's going to be nice and clean and wide open. A lot of area to offset stuff if I need to, especially like working on the laptop. I know I can take and kind of just move stuff out of the way, and I have a nice big area to sit there with my laptop and print stuff off if I need to, you know, stuff to doctors and insurance companies and stuff like that, just personal work, and then stuff for the hobby. I won't be all clustered up and trying to, you know, jumble stuff, and this is the way it was before, even though a lot of you think that this is a nice big area, and it is, but I'm a big guy and I need some breathing room too. So I think now it is opened up. I feel really good when I'm sitting in here, and I'm kind of itching to get going, but in the same fact, I know I gotta, you know, say, whoa, get organized. And, you know, we're slowly but surely getting there. And again, I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. Mark has a copy of these. I think Mark has both scales of the, I'm not positive on that, but I'm thinking he does, the 148 scale and the 172nd scale. After looking at this, I wish I had gotten the 148 scale, a little bit bigger. But, you know, this is even more of a challenge now. So we're gonna run with it. We're gonna have something to be proud of. Like I said, it's in more remembrance of the pilot. Not so much what is going on over there. It's just I've been a big fan of this aircraft for a long time. I've seen video of what this aircraft can do, and it's just I think the pattern of the plane is kind of what drew me to it, and then the storyline behind it kind of just kept compelling me, kept drawing me to it. More than I see tons of planes on Mark's website, and you know, anytime I get one of them, but it's like, you know, there's other planes I do want to get, but we're going to start with this one, and we're going to try to make it a couple times a year, maybe, of doing a plane, and then some other different stuff that we normally don't do. And I've talked about it. Oh, I do need to clarify one thing. Chris Bizzle, that's his handle on Instagram. His name's Chris. The files he sent me, it's just the chassis only for this vehicle. It is for a modern vehicle, and when we get a good print out and all the parts are ready, we're going to do an open box review kind of type thing of all the parts and components to it. It is not for sale. I cannot sell it, but we can view it. I can use it for any other builds I got down the road. I'm sure it can be modified for any other vehicle too, even though it's kind of set for one in particular vehicle. And I'll let you know what that is when we get to it. But he doesn't sell it also. He's just puts the file up there for it to sell, and it's for personal use only. So if you're a 3D printer and you buy it, it's just for you to use. Now, if you just give it away to somebody, I don't know what the rules and regulations of all that are. But, you know, if I pay for something and I pay for the materials and I print it and I want to gift it to somebody, I primarily will gift it to somebody. I'm not going to sell it, you know, without their permission. I'm not going to make a profit off of it, in other words, without the person's permission. And this particular person does not want that to happen. So this will not be for sale, but we are going to review it and take a look at it. His links will be there for you to go check out. We got another good probably week or so before the parts come in from our new sponsor. You saw I had his logo up there from his website last video. We'll have it up there again for this one. You know, guys, go check out. You just get a feel and a taste for what his products are. Like I said, it's not going to suit everybody. And you know, me building Pro Touring doesn't suit everybody. Even though the wow factor may be there. This stuff wows me though too. You know, it is more focused on imports and racing, which is a good market. Younger guys, that's what they're into, because this is what they've seen as they grow up. You know, the Fast and Furious movies and all these other movies that deal with drifting and, you know, the high Formula Ones and, you know, all the Le Mans cars and all this stuff. his items lean towards that, which are really cool. But his trans kits are really cool in itself. If you want to really dress up one and, you know, build your race car, that's what his stuff leans to. And it's good to have somebody like that come aboard because it's something different. So I hope you guys can grasp that for what it is. It's not, I didn't bring him on board, and he didn't bring me on board to isolate as being just that. You know, Mark widely, like you see, airplanes, paints, supplies, tools, that kind of stuff. And that's great for the channel. But we got to have some other content to keep things going. And as a modeler, I want to be challenged. So it's adapting to what people are sending me and working with that too, to keep this little storyline going. So again, I hope you guys really like this stuff. I hope you like the way the shop's going. We're not far. Maybe we're about a week or two before the shop is primarily done, other than, you know, a little Mickey Mousing around here and there, but primarily done and functioning. And I'll feel a lot better. There was something else. Well, it's not important, but we're getting there. We got a good chunk taken out of it. We're not nowhere near done, but we're getting there. Thank you to all my past, present subs. If you're not subbed, please drop the sub. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. Hit that bell notification while you're at it. You'll know when my videos come out. If you like, you know, what you're seeing so far, go back and watch some of my older videos. It'll kind of get you caught up to date. This is a rolling story. You know, we started off at the beginning, and now we're, you know, what, 5, 6, 7 months into it now. Of a storyline, you guys kind of, when you can, like I said, a lot of videos are long, I get that, but go back and watch them when you can, and you'll be all caught up on where we're at. And the giveaway that's coming up, 1,000 subs, so spread the word. The faster we get to that point, the quicker the giveaway can happen. And, you know, everything's kind of falling into place. And as that stuff comes along, I'll keep you up to date on it. But again, thank you. Thank you to Ryan Jones for always sending us these beautiful wheels. And wheels set a car off. I don't care who you are. Even in the hobby, even if you've not picked out a build yet, you get a set of wheels. They will inspire you to pick a certain car that you want these wheels to go on, that you feel they'll look the best on. And that's the great thing about him being the OG in designing wheels, to me. You know, he's probably the #1 guy. JPS Customs does a great job too, but he's more derived into lowrider, trucks, cars, and that format, and the dubs and all that. And he does an excellent job. And I advise you to go check his products out. He does some amazing work. And then, you know, everything else that's in between. But, you know, to me, Ryan Jones is the #1 guy. I know that I'm not the only one. So I'm not just, you know, spouting out the mouth. He's #1 for a reason. He's always coming out with great new designs, retro designs, combining the new with the old, coming out with just retro stuff. So he's got a little bit of everything. So definitely check out his website. It's always down there in the links, same as Mark at Hobby Nut Models. Go pick you up one of these great kits from ICM, the Ghost of Kiev. What you get, the 148 scale or 172nd scale. It'll make a beautiful piece to put in your collection of models. Or if you know somebody that's heavy into jets, it'd make a nice piece to get, you know, gifted to them to put in their collection. Or if you got a family member that's in the Air Force or anything like that that's into jets, same way. It'd be a nice gift as a token of, you know, thank you to them. And yeah, I mean, we're rocking here, guys. I'm up to about maybe 2 hours a day before I'm really wiped. So hopefully I can get to where I'm not wiped at all. I can spend a full day down here hammering stuff out and getting stuff down. Because right now I can't reach up there to get this stuff down like I need to anyways. It just hurts too bad. Low stuff is not too bad. And having helped my granddaughter help me just hand me things, basically. That's a huge help. And we got other stuff, you know, like here's another one, you know, another X-Acto knife set. This will get put on one of the workstations. It's just a cheap little set, but this is a bigger one. It holds bigger blades, and I have a bunch of brand new blades over here. I probably got 1,000 different blades that are all brand new over here that I need to divide up to the areas. Saw blades, wide, not number 11s, but the wider, looks like a number 11, but it's a wider shaft that goes into the holder. And these kind of right here will accept the bigger blades, and they're good to have. And then, like I said, we got other tools you guys haven't seen yet. A lot of the stuff goes on the diorama table. It'll go in the drawers of the diorama table, but that's the key thing of having 4 drawers. A lot of the stuff that'll be centrally located will be in drawers. It won't be actually out on the table. It'll be the bigger stuff, of course, it'll be out on the table. This I wanted to show you. A lot of you guys have them in your shop for your Dremel tool. You know, it just clamps. So I can move this to whatever area I'm working on. I try to do all this at the downdraft table, the way it sucks in the wax or whatever. If I do any wax at an actual workstation, I do it down below the desk. So I sling it towards the floor and whatever's down below instead of up on top. But if I'm doing heavy stuff, especially with heavy compounds, I always bring this over, and I got a little notch here. I can put this in and work right here at the downdraft table. Or on the diorama table, I can just clamp it right there, and I can grind, cut what I need to do, sculpt with the Dremel wand. So it's a nice thing to do. You can hang your main Dremel on here so you don't have to hold it. And then you've got the wand attachment you can use in your hand and go to town. But I got that on Amazon. I think it might have been like 13 bucks or something. It's cheaply made. This is plastic, but it works really well. And, you know, I've not had any issues with it. It holds, it extends out real high. You just turn and it locks. So that, well, if I get it to lock, there, you know, I can push it down, but the weight of the Dremel tool is not going to make it go down. So yeah, it's a nice little tool to have in your arsenal. So there's one thing we've not really covered. We'll get into all the Dremel accessories I have once I can get those, or I find a container to put them all in a little bit nicer, neater, and where I can kind of set centrally located, or maybe we'll keep that over here. I don't know yet, but we'll get to that. Way over today, guys. I apologize for the long video. It's not too bad today, but we'll be back to about a 10-15 minute video next week. Updates on the plane will probably come on Wednesdays. Just so you know, if you want to make a mental note or a paper note, have that bell notification hit. That way you know when it does come out. So until then, you guys have a great weekend. It's still football, so that's primarily where my head and heart is right now this whole weekend. I'm going to run Saturday and get the materials I need to finish this stuff up, and then get it in and unpack, and that's going to wipe me out, and then I'm done for the weekend. So we'll see you back here on Monday for a mental Monday. I still have one I've been bouncing around my head. I'm going to ponder on it some more, and if I can get it closed up, that's what we'll talk about Monday. And we'll kind of go from there. So until Monday, guys, you have a great weekend. Get some modeling in. As always, you can contact me via email for a shop card, communication, pictures of your builds you're working on, any big high detailed questions about how to do something, send it via email, and I'll take pictures if I have to and send to you. I'll write a paragraph, whatever, you know, to help you out the best I can. Same way along the line, anything you see back here, if you zoom in and you say, I've been thinking about that kit, I just don't know, I've heard some bad, I have some good, hey, let me know. I'll pull it down off the shelf, or I'll have my wife come in and grab it for me and pull it down. We'll open it up, we'll go over it. If I already have plans for it, I'll let you know what I'm going to do to it. Maybe it'll spark some inspiration, or at least it'll give you an idea of what it looks like, and if I see any physical damage as far as warping or anything like that, or bad flash, it'll give you a heads up, and you know, if I think it's a good kit or not. But you know, that's up to you guys. That's where you got to feed back to me. Any other questions about something, just let me know. I'll be glad to help in any way I can. I said, if you're in my area, and you know, we're not friends or anything, send me an email. Say, hey, I'd like to drop by one day. You're more than welcome. Come by pretty much any day of the week. Just, you know, connect with me, and I'll let you know my schedule, and we'll get you over here. You'll look at the shop. If you need a place to work because your shop's down for now, bring what you're working on, bring it over here. You don't have to worry about bringing glues and paints and all that, unless you're like in the middle of airbrushing a body. Then bring your paint with you, and you can use my spray booth. I don't care. It's open. You just gotta let me know. And there's a couple people that aren't on any of these platforms. Some are on Instagram, and they do live close, but they don't do any big time posting of anything. And they have been by before. I'm hoping they come back again, and we can maybe do a buddy build right here at the bench. I've got some fold up chairs that we can sit up. You know, I can be on the main bench. Somebody can be here. I can pack up whatever and clear a spot for you. It's no big deal. You just gotta let me know, guys. Again, have a great, terrific weekend. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.